Hello everyone, Russell Wright, and I've got the entire Network Empire Theme Zoom team, and I'm so glad you could make it, and I want to express my gratitude for taking time out of your busy day. I know that a lot of us have a lot of stuff going on, and there are many of you on the call. And also I'd like to welcome everyone who is new and who has never been exposed to our material before. Just a super quick insight, we started off as themezoom.com. It's a fairly well-known brand, keyword research, data analysis. We still have the only natural language processing tool available to the consumer public. It's basically a keyword research tool that researches vertical markets, pulls back thousands upon thousands of keywords, and extracts the keywords that are the most profitable from that giant pile of keywords. So that's where we got started. And Domain Web Studio was an answer to the need to create syndication, develop networks, and build that powerful infrastructure of market research into basically a network building machine that incorporates website silo architecture and a variety of other terminologies that you'll probably learn as you spend a little bit of time with us. But without any further ado, I want to thank you, and I'm going to step aside and let primary developer Matt DeCruz jump in and give you the down and dirty tour of Domain Web Studio. Thank you.
Thanks, Russ. Hi, everybody. My name's Matt. I'm just going to take you through the program today. And like Russ, I'd like to welcome everybody who's new, as well as our current members who've popped in to see what we're up to again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the presentation. And basically what we're going to do in this presentation is we're going to start with the end in mind, and we're going to flip this whole story on its head so we can show you the end result first, and then take you to the right of the presentation where we actually show you how easy it is to actually build your broadcasting network. Now, part of the building that broadcasting network is, i.e. creating your website, which is at the core of everything that you're doing. But the end result is going to basically be a synonymic network that you created where for every single property that you promote to, it drives targeted traffic to one of your pages within your structure. So what we can see on this screen here is just a quick snapshot of what happens when we create a promotional plan in DWS. And as I get into the system, I'll take you a bit deeper into the story. So why did we build a broadcasting network? What's the point of doing this? Okay, and why did we build the promotion management module? And the answer is very simple. Traffic is what drives your business, okay? And the more traffic you can push through your business, and the more conversions you make, or the more leads you generate, the better your business will do if you convert those leads and you're doing more sales. Okay, but to do this, it can be quite tricky with all the stuff that's going on. So the promotion syndication module is basically designed to deal with 3 core points, okay? It's to create a concise, customized marketing and promotion plan for every single keyword that is unique to your silo-structured website, no matter how large, within seconds. And I'll say it again, within seconds. It builds this plan out in seconds. Nowhere on the web today is there actually technology that takes your blueprint that you've designed, looks at all the factors that are involved with the blueprint, i.e. who the competition is, how strong is their page rank, how competitive the actual market is, and then creates a customized blueprint for it. Okay, so the second part of that is the plan needed to be scalable, outsourceable, accessible from anywhere, and easy to manage. So that resulted in no more spreadsheets or trying to figure out what to do next. It resulted in no more trying to figure out how to be accountable to your client or your team. When I say accountable to your client will say, what are you going to be doing for me when you're charging me for this promotion? You can say, I'm going to be doing X. I'll be doing this every single week per keyword, per promotional property, and this is what we require from you. Therefore, this is why it costs you X amount of money. And then to your team. No more worrying about what to tell your team to do next. Everything is exact. Okay, when the plan is generated, you assign tasks to your team, and they get told exactly what they need to do, what keywords they need to use within that actual promotion, and then know where they're going to be promoting to. So ambiguity sort of fades away. Okay, and this is where your team doesn't get lost in the workload. As a project manager, if you've got guys working for you, you can actually zoom in and out and look at who's doing what, who's behind, who's on target. And if your projects change and deadlines change, you can quickly go in, reassign work amongst the people that you're working with. Or if you're a one-man shop and you just started off and you want to do this yourself, you can actually look at your workload on the project you're working on and you can manage your own time very, very effectively. And you'll very quickly see when your time is actually getting used up and you've got no more time left as your business grows, you can start bringing more people in. It's very, very simple. The next thing was to create link diversity across the project and to manage the anchor text portfolio so that you can get ranked for thousands of keywords across your Sonomic net that you're actually creating with your broadcasting network. So DWS, the promotional plan, manages your anchor text. You have to worry about over SEO optimization. You have to worry about what anchor text to use. Everything's managed for you, okay? Then thirdly was to create a plan that puts the right message, context, content, and media in the right place that is needed to be automated wherever possible. So the system does, with the one-feed system, we've automated this and we're putting the right information out to the right places, okay? So you don't have to worry about this, and then there's no more reliance on bots that are just doing things wrong, okay? I'm not saying that bots are wrong to use. I use lots of bots. I write my own bots. There's a place for everything in your tool set, but you've got to give the bots the right information, and you have to tell them how to put the right information in the right place. When you do that, it works. When you just plug in an article and spread it across the web, then it doesn't work, okay? You sort of wasting your time. So here's a snapshot overview of what the syndication and promotion overview does. Basically what happens is you generate your blueprint, you then come along and you assign tasks, you write your promotional content for the different types of media. The media gets created, then goes through a quality control process. If you're doing it yourself, you'll vet your own quality, but if you've got other people doing work for you, you can either fail or pass their work. Okay, if it fails, you can just push it right back to them and say, sorry, do this again. They fix it and they go back to that loop. As if it's correct and passes, it then drops into your publishing bin where if you're doing it yourself, you can publish to the web, or if you've got guys sitting somewhere in the Philippines or anywhere else in the world that's doing outsourced work for you, that'll just fall into the bin, they'll get an email, and they will then proceed to publish the work to the web. As soon as they've published it and they put it on the web and they've marked it as done and they've made that page look really good, i.e. put your creative on the page, put your banners if they have to do it, all they do is they log the URL where they put this. This is purely for accountability to yourself and to your client if you're doing client work. And as soon as they log it, that gets pushed through the one feature or the more system that comes out of DWS. And as that happens, this gets promoted across the web to multiple places instantaneously. And that particular piece of information gets broadcast across the web. And so the story goes on as your team works through the promotional plan. Now this is very, very powerful, and when you get to appreciate actually what's going on, you truly get to understand how powerful the system is and how it goes about broadcasting all your media types across the web in real time. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to have a look at the whole process next, but before I start going through the real life systems, I basically just want to give a quick overview of what we do in Network Empire. With Network Empire, we've got a stackable process, a stackable system, and that's at the core of everything, okay? And this stackable process basically allows you to go through the vertical, up and down, or it allows you to go through the horizontal process of production. On top of that, we've got the training of how to do it, and below it, we've got the DWS Precision, the software. So the entire module that comes with Network Empire is the training, the business in a box, if you could call it, the process, the stackable system, and then the software that supports the stackable system, and everything's interwoven, okay? Now, what happens is, with our whole system, we look at the entire market, right? Sorry, I was jumping forward. And when we look at markets, I've just used an example of here from a market where we actually want to deal with drug treatment, okay, in this example here. The keyword we want to target and get ranked for is drug addiction treatment. As you run through our process, what happens is we'll look at morphine addiction, we'll look at heroin addiction, and we'll look at the drug addiction treatment. And here you can see we've got different market segments that are all related, and they all lead up to drug addiction treatment. If they don't get the treatment, they die, basically. But here's how, with the Network Empire stackable system, we swallow the whole market whole. We will get you ranked for guys that have got these problems, and we'll show you in our training how to get yourself positioned properly for the treatment so that you can actually help these people over here. Now, this is all got to do with data hierarchy, where we're dealing with silos, categories, and supporting articles in our system. Okay, silos are typically your top-level keywords like debt, drug addiction, internet marketing. Those are your big keywords, and that's at the top of the stackable system. Okay, these are your silos. They're the biggest terms. They're typically the broad terms that cover an entire market. So if we go back, this is the entire market. That ring, which runs in a circle, is the entire market. These are segments of the market, and the segments are typically your categories. And then at the bottom, your supporting articles typically cover your niches and your phrases and your micro niches. Now with DWS, we bring this all together, this whole data hierarchy, and we make it super easy for you to work with. So you don't have to really get confused about what I've said right now. So I'm going to jump out of this presentation, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across to DWS. Okay. So over here, this is what I showed you was the promotion plan, and in order to get to this point where we start promoting and driving traffic to our website, we have to build our website first. But before I start, I'd just like to ask Sue and Russell if they've got anything that they want to mention before I get into the actual nitty-gritty of how we get to this point of promoting and having a live broadcast network.
Just want to clarify for those of you who have been with us for years that what Matt was talking about with the silo hierarchy will be explained in more detail, because I know that is something that is at the top of a lot of conversation for you guys. Those of you who have used Kraken, the thing that he had in that pyramid there at the silo, just not on the screen, but that's really what we're talking about, is markets on the top of the Kraken vertical online market analysis tool. Okay, so generally speaking, you've been trained in the past to recognize, using our vertical market technology, that the broadest terms are obviously the top of the market, and the process of bringing all the long tails together and ranking for them simultaneously, as you'll find using silo architecture. We've tested this right in the middle of Penguin and Panda. It still works like a charm. Sue says 3,000% increase in 2 of our last tests with clients. It always works as long as it's being done properly. And I just wanted to, share with you that, what Matt was showing there with silo is really markets in terms of the Kraken technology. Thanks, Matt. That's all I have to say to that.
Cool. Okay, I was checking it while I was off mute there. Right, okay, so what I've got here is DWS. We're in the DWS system now, okay? And we're on promotion step number 6. This is the end of the story. And this is where we promote and go live. And what the blueprint generates out is this great chart, which shows us in a year in advance how promotional activities will go forward. It shows us month by month what we need to do, what the costs are associated with them, and then it shows us by promotion type what different promotions we'll be doing across the web in different media types. So when you look at this, you see a lot of signals, a lot of up and down activity, and this is typically indicating how you're going to be promoting on different types of platforms. So we can see on forums, articles, social groups, blog articles. It tells us month by month what our promotion types are going to be. So we can really get into the mindset of what we need to do to promote the website, which we're going to be building out in DWS. Okay. Now remember, the whole purpose of this is to drive traffic, okay? And we want to back our way into the market. So when we look at this by keyword, we can see how we're sort of backing our way into the market, where we're promoting and getting our lower, shorter terms, getting the smaller terms, the smaller markets, getting them ranked first, and then we're working our way to getting the big terms, like the big top silo terms, ranked. So you can see your workload actually staggers off as we go down through the process, and you get this wedge shape. But by the time you've gone through this process of promoting and you've got this wedge shape, when you come to get ranked for your big terms that you want to get ranked for, you've got all this push behind you. You've got all of this promotion right behind you, shoving your message across the web. Okay, so the way this all works, okay, is we've got a horizontal process where we run through different steps as we go through the process, and it's actually really refined and super simple. And with DWS, you can promote one keyword, or you can actually promote thousands of keywords. The system's total scalable, and it will do whatever you want it to do, depending on what you want to do at that point in time for whatever site or promotion you want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop across to the beginning point, And when you log into DWS,
Matt, I'm going to slow you down here. Matt, let me slow you down here. Can you go back?
Sure.
Okay, because I just really want, we got a lot of new people on this call, and I really want to make sure. Everyone, I just want to make really clear, because Matt's been working really, really hard with these last updates, and he's been up kind of late. I want to make sure that we're really covering this. We are at the end of the process now. This is the mass promotion technology. Okay, and what you're looking at here, for those of you who have never seen this kind of data before, we're looking at the end result, the promotional plan, which is actually the most difficult thing for us to build, so I don't want to slide over it. And we're going to go back to the beginning of the process where we show you how to build the website infrastructure, how to literally rank for thousands of keywords using 90% fewer inbound links than the competition. And this promotional plan area, that panel that he was showing you below, the graphic indicator, is literally the amount of promotional cost, time, and energy over time that you're going to spend on a given project in your empire, which he's going to show you shortly, the Empire Control Panel. You can manage as many empires. An empire is any number of, is a project, but with any number of sites and associated sites tied to it. So what you're looking at here is June through December of this date. You can watch the amount of cost and effort it's going to take your massive outsourcing team to begin to get you ranked using the content processes that Matt's going to lay out. Also, we have a contrast here that shows repurposed content. You can see the yellow line is repurposed content, and the red line is estimated budget new content. Now, all of this will tie in later. It's not going to all make sense right now. I'm aware that those of you who are new, need to, see what we're doing from the beginning. But when we talk about repurposed content, we're talking about automatic RSS syndication, penetration into the live and machine world places that you can put your feeds and other multimedia feeds, okay, such as this buzzword content curation. Probably saw in my email, I told you what was really bugging me about content curation. I promised I would give a giveaway about what that is. Well, it's actually Sue Bell's major complaint about the whole industry as well, which is you really need to be driving traffic off those social media locations and automatic feed systems and your video-driven feeds with repurposed content to your own platforms. And this promotional area, once you're done with the processes Matt's going to start from the beginning here and show you, you're going to be able to have all of your multimedia content go everywhere, and you're going to be able to reveal to the client the cost and the contrast between repurposing, the cost of the outsourced teams, the cost of the development of unique content of various types, and their overall cost of literally owning or swallowing the market whole. So I want to make sure that we didn't slide over that, because I know a lot of you haven't seen these numbers, and if you don't, if you don't understand this particular chart, know that it's broken down, and what he was showing you below this graph, it's broken down into line items as well. You can look at the month-by-month line item as well, which is what I love about it. Also, keep in mind that this is done keyword by keyword at a time. So you're also going to see worst-case scenarios for these promotional costs, and you can also know in the back of your mind, as is the training for we've given for the last 5 years, that this is a worst-case scenario, because if you're building all these signals using website silo architecture, you're going to rank far fewer for far less cost than this. So you're looking at a worst-case scenario. Thanks, Matt.
No worries. Guys, if I move too quick and there's questions that you want to stop, please just go to the chat window, fire a question across. Then Sue, who's moderating the call, will actually either interject and hold me up, and we can deal with that question right then and then.
Right, and if you can hear the typing in the background, that's Sue actually taking people's questions live, because we take all of your questions to heart and we're refining these presentations, and we do answer them, and we'll also have a question and answer session at the end of the call. So we flipped this presentation on its head because one of the challenges that we got back from the audience was that show us what the end results are, and then run us through the system. So that's why Matt's starting from the back and move forward.
Okay. Yeah, so the end result, guys, just to clarify this 100% is, one, we want to drive traffic from the web, not just Google. We want traffic from everywhere. Backlinks are now a byproduct of your actions, okay? We don't want to worry about backlinks and building backlinks. We want to worry on promoting our business and getting our brand, our service, and our products across the web so we can get traffic from everywhere. And number three, we want to do it fast, and we want to do it rapidly. We don't want to spend weeks doing keyword research. We don't want to spend weeks trying to build a website. We don't want to spend weeks trying to manage ourselves or people, okay? and getting caught up in all the red tape and the nitty-gritty and confusion that is going with a disorganized setup. Now, this is why we built DWS, was to address all these issues and to streamline the entire process. So before I start, the four core things that we have done is, one, you can build websites now without even knowing HTML. Okay, the system allows you to build your whole website, your entire network rapidly, and you don't even need to know how to do HTML. Two, it allows you to manage your time, okay, and allows you to manage your team. Three, you can write your content straight into the system, and our plugins that come with the system, the website silo builder, it costs $20. It's unlimited license. It builds your website out for you within seconds, which we can show you how rapidly it does this task. And four, you can build your website all at once, or you can build it out block by block. So the system takes care of everything. Okay, so I'm going to go to the beginning and just show you guys how this all works. So what we got here is a container called an empire. Okay, and when we think of empires, we think of the old colonial days where Britain and Spain and Portugal and these places went across the world and they said this belongs to us, and they took it and they created a colony. Okay, your colonies are essentially your sites. So with an empire, we've got multiple sites, and when we think back to what Kraken was, I'll show you Kraken shortly. I mentioned markets. When you're dealing with the web, or you're dealing with your business is part of a market. And within your market's broken down into market segments. And these market segments are broken down to themes. So that little pie is cut down into themes. Each theme is then broken down into niches. Each niche is broken down into micro niches and then phrases. So you can see how this whole stack of information, you can really draw right down it. Now with DWS, you can actually create a site to focus on one specific keyword. So let's say you want to go right down to the micro niches, and there's one keyword that you know is going to be profitable for yourself. You can come and create a site, set it up just for that one keyword. You can bypass everything, get your site live rapidly, and you can start promoting that one specific keyword. There's nothing stopping you with the system. However, we believe in silo architecture and building out a large network. You can take it to basically one keyword, and you can create a single silo, which is basically a keyword and 5 articles. The reason why we say 5 supporting articles is because we want to create a theme around that specific keyword we're taking. And this is how we go about building sites. So here we want to go for the house clearance market. And in the house clearance market, you can see we've got house clearance. We've created 8 silos, 13 categories, and it's got 7 supporting articles, and we've got like 786 keywords we looked at over here. In cleaning services, we've got 1 silo and 5 articles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill into the process. You can see here on each project we've got the entire process mapped out on each one. Okay, and the way this works is if we want to create a new website, a new empire, we can click on the link over here, or if we want to add a new site, we just click on this link and it'll open up a new site. And when we set up a site, I'm just going to click on the update the site parameters so we don't have to go through the whole process. All we do to create a new site is we basically fill in a primary keyword targeting. If we've got a URL, we'll put the URL in. We'll give the profile a name. This is free text. We'll define what the purpose of the site is. We can define where in a ring it's going to work. And if we click on this little plus sign over here, this will open up a page which takes us to the wiki, which gives us a detailed overview of all the primary web rings. Now, like I said to you, DWS will merge and grow with you and take you as far as you want to go. So as far down the rabbit hole you want to go, DWS will move down that process with you. So when I log into this, and I'll scroll down a bit, this is where we talk about market domination, and we talk about our different rings, okay?
My favorite topic.
At the moment, we've built out our WR1 rings. Now I'm going to hand this over to Sue and just let her quickly speak to you about this, because I want you guys to appreciate how the system is scalable and how it can go from targeting one specific keyword where you create a keyword, you put it on the web, this is one page, and you promote that one keyword, it could be for affiliate offer, to actually building out a whole website or building out a whole network, which is essentially a broadcasting network. You can create a mini broadcasting network for one keyword, or you can do it for the entire market. Sue, would you like to just take 5 minutes on this?
Oh, I could take so much longer, but yeah, I'll try to keep it to just a minute or two. So the idea with this is that in the WR1, these are your branded domains. These are the domains that you actually own, that you put your stamp on and you want to admit to owning them. And you've got all kinds of great content. It can be a single site, as Matt was saying, with a single page, or it can be several sites where you've got one site that's educational and trust building, and you've got another site that's an actual conversion site with your products on it, or maybe you've got a couple of different sites that are actually money sites that target completely different demographics, because you don't want the same site for teeny boppers as you do for 80-year-old grandmas. So you can have all of these different domains in your WR1, and then your WRS1 are the social media and third-party platforms that support that WR1. Those are also the places where those accounts, you put your logo and you put your brand out there, and you actually admit to communicating with your market on those. And then when you get into the WR2s and the WR3s, those are also places. The WR idea of the WR is that those are the domains that you own. The WRS are the third parties. So you've got 2 additional rings outside of that you could go. I've never had to go any further than WR2 and WRS2. I've always managed to dominate my markets with just that. But the idea of that outer ring is that WRS3 and WR3 are if I'm going to do something that's the least little bit gray hat or black hat that Google might penalize me for, I do it way out there, and then those links point to the WR2 stuff. And so I've got this buffer between what I'm doing that's a little bit maybe not quite on the up and up, and what's all the way down on my money sites, so that my money sites never actually get penalized. And there's all kinds of fun stuff. In certification, we get into all the different ways that you can approach all the domains and all those different rings and strategies that you can use. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll drop a little tip here. From my side of things, social media and curation integration in one feed. Each one of those rings is a separate google.com/dashboard. Okay, do not mix dashboards. Okay, we'll move forward. Next, Matt, where we should go from here?
Right, so what I'm going to do is, that's where we define what rings. So from setting up our site, we can actually say where it's going. Okay, so this drop-down menu refers to what we're building out within our empire. I hope this is clear for everybody, and I hope it shows you the scale of how big you can actually build out your site. Then you then have the opportunity now to put in your elevator pitches. This is basically where if someone asked you in the elevator and you had 1 or 2 floors to tell them exactly what you did for your business, that 1-minute pitch, this is where you'd put it in. Okay. Your CEO bio, this is where you use the stuff for your bio boxes. And then we define the search engine we're targeting. We can define the currency we want our project in. And then we can define the silo sizes. And when I mentioned earlier on the silo sizes in this slide over here, where we had silos, categories, and supporting articles, this is where we segment the data into 3 chunks within DWS, and we start using bands of data to define where keywords sort of go into the system. So you can actually come and tweak this and update this later on the system to get the nice mix. You put in your backlink, your content development cost over here, and then your conversion funnel. So you say how much conversion you'll get. If you rank in position number 1, how much traffic you'll get. How much is when a guy hits your website, what's the conversion rate? We typically do conservative estimations over here so that we get a good forecast of what we're dealing with. Then what we've got here is what's the average profit per unit sale. So if we're doing lead generation, what do we get per sale? If you've got a shop and you're driving leads into the business, this third factor here, if it's direct sales, you just put 100 so it cancels itself out. But if you are doing lead generation and you've got guys sitting in your office, or your client's got guys sitting in the office that pick up the phone, they phone the client back, typically what you'll say to them is, out of every 10 sales, how many do you actually convert? And whatever the number is out of 10, you'd put in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%. If they get 100% conversion, put 100 in. And this affects everything throughout the whole system. Okay. Then what's the financial goal of the company? What do they want to is profit monthly? And what's the budget they have to spend? And this becomes important when you put your budget in. it shows the guys what they can actually afford to target when you start building out your blueprint. Now, just because they've got a small budget and they've got a big dream, it doesn't mean that they can't actually go for the big dream. It just means that the promotional plan, when we come to your promotional plan, you'll know what you can target and what you can't target up front. Okay. The system also tells you roughly how many people you need to create a sale and how many visitors it's going to take for every one sale. So to make $5,000 a month, we need 167 conversions on our site at $30 a site to meet our profit of $5,000, and we need to drive 16,700 unique visitors to the site a month.
And yeah, I just wanted to add, hopefully they can hear me a little bit better now. Sorry about the low volume. I just want to add here at this point, from those of you who are certified users who have been in the field already know how powerful this data is. Those numbers and graphs that Matt was showing you earlier at the end, when we started with the end in mind, those graphs convert and create clients, if you have clients, like nobody's business, because these are the kind of numbers that you have to take into account when you're going across multiple keywords and setting up a promotional plan and or syndication plan with clients. And when they see those numbers, as Brian McFarland and other students that we have will tell you, that's really where you're meeting the requirements for them to write a check for you. And if you have clients, you can leave with a check with those kind of numbers, and we'll get into that. But it's really important for me. Matt is the one who's taught me a ton about KPIs in terms of promotional value, because for the most part I was social media marketing and neuromarketing. And when we put all of these things together, developing this app, we became really aware of how much, that was one of the biggest challenges we had with Kraken by itself, is that we could give a great number on total search market value, but it didn't have the KPIs that Matt included here to be able to go into a client and say, hey, here's a projected cost. So just wanted to show, again, connect this screen to those numbers at the end so that you know the pretty pictures that close sales, how powerful they actually are.
Yeah, and it's based on facts and forecasts. Nothing is set in stone, especially when you're speaking to clients. Or if you go sit in the boardroom and you've got literally 15 minutes to pitch your pitch, and the guys want to know, how much does it cost, what's in it for me, how long is it going to take? Okay, they've got those 4 basic questions.
That's right. And the fact is that, yeah, and you have those numbers, and just a little sneak peek here, like in the event that you were flipping a network for $1 million or whatever, not that you'd ever do anything like that, you actually have across your empire portfolio, as we showed you in the previous screen, you're going to have a pretty good projection if you have an investor come to you and says, hey, build this network out. So Sue and Matt and I can just hand them a thing and say, here's our projected cost for building out this video broadcasting empire or this network or whatever it is that they particularly use. Really, really cool. So go ahead, Matt. Didn't mean to hijack that.
No worries. So when you're speaking to the clients or your proposal clients, you're not talking SEO to them, you're not talking technical stuff, you're talking business. And you're saying to them, look, if you target this keyword, it's going to take you so long, it's going to cost you so much. However, if you target this part of the market for these keywords, you're going to make this much more profit potentially, and the cost is lower. And you're speaking sense to their market. And products that they could be putting on the shelf, which they didn't consider up front, might become more profitable for their business in the short term than other ones would be. And it helps them make decisions. And based on those decisions, you're answering questions that they've not been asked in their own business yet, which then puts you in a position of an advanced position or a position of advantage, because you're speaking to their business and you're speaking to their needs. And this is how you close sales. So very quickly, we just fill in this form and that creates a site. So I'm just going to go back, and the end result is all these numbers all come to play when we bring our keyword data into the system. Okay. So while the screen's going back, DWS has a universal importer, and it works with Market Samurai. So I've got that open over here. And basically all you need to do with Market Samurai is set your match type to phrase, the period to monthly, and I've just saved this as DWS Lite. It's my own custom filter. And all I take out is the local searches, the AdWords data, and the SEO competition. I leave the rest out. I don't use it right now. We click export, and when we export this out, it gives us, by default, Market Samurai exports data out as Unicode text. So if I export this out, I just want to show the guys who use Market Samurai. It says it's a CSV, right? So if I throw this into my desktop, and I open this up, okay, there's our export out of Market Samurai. When we open it up, and we click File Save As, you'll see it's a Unicode text file. And if you just try and import it as its default state, it won't work. So when I go File, Save As, okay, it must be, just resave it as a comma-separated CSV file. So we click Save, and we replace it with that, okay? Then we can just import this keyword straight into DWS. So the way this is going to work now is I'm going to click on the silo framework screen. This is our stage 1. This is where we're going to actually start building out the website blueprint. I'm going into the cleaning services site, and I'm going to show you how we can import the keyword data in. It's super, super easy. So when this loads up, we'll get there. Right, so here we're in stage 1, the silo framework. Within the next few weeks, we're going to have the whole ISDNA process in here in the system as well. This is where we do all our answering questions stuff. Russ can touch on that if he wants to. I don't know if it's you want to do it on this call now, Russ, or we'll speak.
Well, I don't want to get too much into it. Just know that many of you are familiar with the Cora application that we had and the method that we teach advanced certification called Cora Inception, and it's just essentially questions answers. We have the automatic Cora question finder and view finder coming shortly. But staying focused on, I also wanted to add that what he's showing you Market Samurai also includes, shameless plug to our own actual superior keyword tools, which is the last keyword tool, and Kraken also can be imported into here as well. We're just giving the example because a lot of people use Market Samurai, and we don't want you to think you have to have our more expensive keyword research tools in order to do that. So Matt's created a universal touchstone to allow anything that has qualified data. But I did get this question a lot. I want to make sure you know not every keyword research tool, in fact, few of them, have the quality of the qualified data columns required to work with domain of SEO. So that's something Matt probably will touch on too.
Okay. Yes, we're on stage 1, and this is where we build out our sites, and you'll see how we can really quickly build sites. Now, with Google hiccups and all the changes they're making and in their quest to dominate the world, they make the life for keyword tool guys very difficult by constantly changing things so that we can't get access to their data. And this is constantly been a pain when I'm trying to build out sites that all of a sudden my tools are down and I can't get what I need to get. So this is one of the reasons why we created a universal import data tool. When we click on the import keyword data screen here, we can select custom. So basically we can download this template over here, and we can just pre-populate the templates. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up in a new tab. When you just look at this, what it gives you is a blank template, and this is the bare minimum data we need. Okay, if you're not interested with pay-per-click data, you don't need that, but you need keyword, traffic, and competing pages, and you want it in phrase match. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll paste all your keywords in that column with the adjacent search volume and the adjacent competing pages, save it as a CSV file, and once you've done that, you can basically select custom, point to that file, and you can import it. Alternatively, if you're using tools like Kraken, you can do from Kraken VM or Kraken import list. I have Kraken open over here. This is the tool that we use for our market analysis. This allows us to see how the money flows from market. This is a very, very powerful tool, and if you take the time to learn it, it shortcuts your market research time radically. Like Russell says, for every drill you do, it analyzes over 80,000 keywords and gives you the top 200 back that are relevant and synonymically relevant to what you're doing. So essentially all you can do is you can actually click into a keyword. So you can see I've drilled through all these keywords. I can see which keywords have the most money flowing through them. So moving house is rich, house removals, that's also moving. House waste removal is worth quite a bit of money. And you can look through this whole thing and see how the money flows through this. But when you click into this tool, you'll get a little CSV file at the bottom, and we can simply just say, I want the keywords from Kraken Voma, and I point to my file and I import it in. So when I click on this here, Kraken, we can look at the hash removal stuff here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to import the top 200 keywords. So I click on show keywords. This gives us a bit more of a deeper perspective. And I'm just going to import these in quickly and show you how it does bring keyword data into the system. Is that finished? Just waiting for this page to turn. So I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to save this link to my desktop. There's my household waste removal, so we click save. And then I'm going to go to DWS, Kraken Voma, I'm going to browse to my desktop, there's my keyword list. I click open and I click import. What that's going to do is it's going to basically import these keywords over here. Okay. And this keyword list that I've got from Kraken is all in phrase match. So I've got all my competing pages, I've got my searches, my PPC data. That's all going to get hoovered into the system. So what DWS does is it imports this all in, but as it brings the keywords into the system, it actually puts each keyword that goes in the system, it puts it through a check. And it does 17 quality checks on each keyword before it brings it into the system. So over here now, we can see that we've got 553 keywords in our project, and we're only actually looking at the top 30 now. And because of this filter I've applied, it's only showing me the top 30. So I'm going to clear the filter, and then when I'm going to get back, I'm going to show you the quality checks that we put the keyword through and explain how the system works. Then what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at office cleaning, and we're going to look at waste removal, and we're going to actually build up a silo with 5 categories. And that whole process is going to take us literally a few minutes to do. So without all the chit-chat of me going on explaining the tool, if you imagine you're just sitting here doing the work, you'll see how rapidly you can actually build it your site. So we can build our sites very quickly, and we can deploy them much faster than most people can, which means more profit for ourselves. Okay. So there I've cleared out my list. And the way DWS works is the most profitable keywords, i.e. the keyword is going to make us the most money based on our business rules, always floats to the top, regardless of if you look at all the keywords or if you look at the filtered keywords. Okay. And what we've got is a bunch of icons. The first icon is the quality control check. The second icon is if we click on this, we can update the competing pages and the search volumes and the PPC data. The third icon tells us whether it's a silo, whether it's a category, or whether it's a supporting article. Okay. So it tells us where in our data hierarchy we should actually position this keyword. Okay. So silo is west on the top, then we've got our categories within the silo, then within the categories we have multiple supporting articles. In most websites you only need silos and categories. Sorry, Russ?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, for those of you who might not understand website silo architecture, as Matt showed you earlier on the educational process, we have an extremely deep educational process available at networkempire.com members area. That's all part of the system. We've been teaching it for over 5 years. It's basically a process of hierarchy that allows you to rank higher for up to 90% fewer inbound links than your competition with more keywords at a time. So just want to make sure that those of you who are new know that all the training is available, and Sue and Matt have amazing training on that topic. I mean, there's so much you can do with this screen. It's almost mind-blowing because you've got the most profitable keywords based on those business decision numbers that Matt gave you at the beginning. And then you've also got the educational versus the buyer keywords. I mean, that is pretty powerful.
The other thing I want to say is you don't really have to know so much about silo structures anymore, because thanks to our WordPress Silo Builder plugin, it does everything for you. It does all of the thinking for you. So all you have to do is build out a hierarchical structure based either on LSI if you're using either the last keyword tool or Kraken, or just based on your knowledge of the market, what makes sense to you, so that your silos are thematically related, and the plugin will do all of the mind-numbing linking process for you.
And believe me, guys, for me, the social media RSS and guy, that was awesome. Like silo architecture for dummies, I'll take it. Thank you.
Right. So what's happened here is these icons indicate buyer's intent. Basically, this is what it does. So it shows us if there's high buyer intent potential, medium buyer intent. I'm just going to scroll down and see if we've got an educational keyword. Oh, there we go. Janitorial. That's an educational keyword. There's no money really being spent on that keyword, and it's more of an information-based keyword. Okay. So with this, and these little golden stars that we see, this is part of our golden niche indicator. So we can set rules that say if a keyword is smaller than a specific competing site and makes us more than X amount of money, flag it. So cleaning London is worth a lot of money. End of tenancy cleaning is worth a lot of money. That's worth £1,000 actually a month, and it's got less than 100,000 search volume. Look at that. Less than 100,000 phrase match, and we've got £1,000. So this potential keyword, I could actually just take that one keyword and go get endoftenancy.com, endoftenancycleaning.com, put that one keyword in, and write 2 or 3 pages underneath it, and that's my website done. And that niche could potentially make me $1,000 a month. When I'm talking to clients, I use this screen to close them. I look at what they've got. I typically go in and I just mirror what they've mapped out. I show them the missed opportunities. I show them what they need to go for, and I show them what the promotion cost is going to be. I walk out the office with the check. The deal is done. Because
hey Matt, this is a UK engine, right? This project, are you in the UK engine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the UK. I just didn't save the dollar value. It's the,
Okay.
the dollar value is default. I didn't change it when I actually created this out. So
okay,
you can
cool.
change this in your settings.
Yeah, so we do multiple currencies, multiple countries.
Yes. So over here, this is where we set our golden niches. That little gold star, you set it over here. Now, what makes this screen really powerful is when you're dealing with different markets, you've got different competitors, some with big purses, some with small purses. The guys with big purses, like in the financial industry where I did a lot of work in, you're typically dealing with page ranks of 5, 6, okay? They're typically hanging around in this area, and they've got thousands and thousands of pages. So you're going to be very clever about how you go about doing things. If we're dealing in a market, we set our page rank to a page rank of 5, what happens in DWS, it changes everything. In this market we're looking at now, it's a page rank of 2 on average. And what happens is if we increase our page rank, it adjusts how much backlinks you need, it adjusts how much supporting articles you need for that keyword, and it adjusts the cost. So the more competitive the market is, the higher the cost is, and this makes the expectations for your clients real. It makes the expectations for yourself real. So when you're looking at a keyword, and the time to rank adjusts. So the more difficult, the more time to rank. Your conversions stay the same, but your barrier to entry increases depending on how competitive the market is. And this screen takes into account all that kind of stuff. So when I click on this little graph icon here, the keyword quality score check, this is where we lift the hood and we actually go look at the world of cleaning, and we can actually see if it's met all the criteria and what makes this keyword good. What it does is it takes our traffic to profit funnel, and it goes through 17 checks per keyword, and based on those checks, how they come out, it gives it a quality score. So at the bottom here, you see this keyword meets all our criteria. And what it does, it looks at our conversions, our on-page conversions, our development cost, the potential income, the income versus expenses, and it tells it where this profit will end. And then on the right here, we can actually read and see. It gives us a comment on the actual check it's done. And as it runs through, we can see everything about the keyword. It gives us the whole data hierarchy. So this is what happens with the screen is as we go through the whole process, we import our keywords in, it does 17 checks per keyword, ranks, sorts, and filters, brings everything to the top that's the best, and throws all the rubbish keywords at the bottom of the barrel. Now, the keywords that get thrown in the bottom of the barrel, it doesn't mean they're bad keywords. It just means they're not good for your silo frame. That's basically what it means. Those keywords could be good for supporting keywords as synonyms, which you can use in the system. So here we've got office cleaning. Within office cleaning, we've mapped out a category, commercial cleaning, and within commercial cleaning, we defined the story of commercial cleaning. Okay, so you've got window cleaning, cleaning services, carpet cleaning, cleaners, and cleaning services, and that all defines our story. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to type in waste quickly. Actually, I'm going to click on the root keyword. I'm going to look for I want to create a silo for the waste clearance type of market, and I'm going to filter through all my data set and just look for keywords that contain waste and see which ones are the best keywords for that. Okay. While we're waiting for this, is there any questions that are coming through?
Yes.
Okay, I guess not.
Yes. Yes. Okay. One of the questions was, do you charge your customers for the promotional plan? If so, would you share how much you charge? And my experience is it depends. We just got done doing a blueprint with 200 keywords in it. And I have to say that there's just no way I would have done a promotional plan for somebody if I had to do it on spreadsheets with all of those. I mean, it's got 200 primary keywords in it, and if you include the supporting and synonym keywords, then it's like 2,000 keywords. And so there's no way that I would have done that blueprint out by hand for the promotion. That just would have been so painful. So, you know, the fact that Domain Web Studio can calculate the whole thing for me in a matter of seconds is just mind-blowing, but it doesn't lessen the value of that blueprint at all. So I would say it depends on how many keywords, it depends on the type of client you've got, how deep their pocketbook is, how, like, take a look at it from the perspective of how much money are they going to make off of ranking for all these terms. And like the promotional activities aren't just about ranking, it's actually about going out onto these social media platforms and third-party platforms and dragging that traffic back in, right? So it's not just getting ranked on the search engines and getting search engine traffic. So when you look at that, the numbers that we have here are very, very conservative because we're just using the estimated search volumes, which are probably going to be a fraction of the traffic that the website actually generates. So you want to look at how much your client is standing to make off of this project and then gauge that value appropriately.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize again. That the metaphor. I'm sure you've all heard it, especially if you have clients. That just because you charge $10,000 to push the right button, you had to know where that button is. So
exactly,
it's not about. I want you to make sure. This is the biggest thing that Sue and Matt and I do when we untrain consultants. That we have to teach them. We have to help you unlearn what you've been taught. It's not about how quickly you created the plan, the process, or the online strategy. You are now an online strategist when you use this tool. It's the process, the intelligence, the software, the tools, and the integration of thought, thinking, and profitability that you charge for. And if it takes you 5 minutes, it takes you 5 minutes if that's the market value. Okay, and this tool is exclusive. It's not available for thousands of people. I mean, there's a cap right now on for 300 people. That's a pretty elite group in the billion people that are working on the online marketing industry for the next 9 months. So that's why we're pulling an elite community, an elite group. And even if you're not consulting with people and you're building this for your own network, I'm excited to work with you as well if you're building your own networks for specifically lead aggregation and lead acquisition as well. But you get my point. My point is that guys don't charge based on, it took me, you wouldn't believe it, like it took me 3 hours to work in Kraken, so I charged them 3 hours worth of time. Wait a second, you provided them with the vertical market keywords, you sorted through 80,000 keywords to find the top 100, yeah, it took you 3 minutes. So you came up with a marketing plan based on the backlinking, you understood how the market was put together, you gave them ideas for their landing pages and their conversion keywords that they never had before, and you're going to charge the same hourly rate. So that's what certification is all about, is that we actually help you integrate all that and just making sure.
Yeah, so, Brian makes a good point. Clients only need to know what they need to know. If
that's
it
right.
took them 10 minutes, the client doesn't need to know how fast that information was actually calculated.
Yeah, and that's Brian McFarland. He would know because he went to came to certification and went out there and started doing major stuff, and so I appreciate that, and that's exactly the case. Sorry, Matt, I'm done with my rant.
No, that's fine. Okay. What I'd like to say to answer that question from my perspective is, it doesn't matter how fast you do the work. The faster you work, the more money you make, the more contracts you can bring in. Okay. Yeah. So this is why we've designed the system. The system's modular, so you can actually charge your guys if he's going to do a framework, i.e. If a guy wants to speak to me about his keywords, I say, give me your keywords, I put them in here, and I charge him for a consultation. So I charge him $400 for the hour. And I will talk to him about this, and I'll talk to him about his business within an hour. So he pays me for just talking about the keywords that he's brought in. Then, from this, if he wants a blueprint, and just a blueprint, you can map that out. So you can just create a blueprint and charge him $2,500 for a single silo or 5 silos, whatever you feel comfortable charging, and you never have to actually even leave the screen. You can make money just from doing that with this over here. Just this process I'm going to show you now, just mapping this out, is worth a lot of money. That might take you 2-3 hours to map out his whole website plan, but you could charge him a few grand, i.e. $1,000 an hour, for doing this job for him, and you can give it to him in a spreadsheet format, which I'll show you over here. We can export it out.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
You can go through this process of the promotional plan. That's a different product, all in all. So essentially, you can charge him to develop his promotional plan, and that's something different. So it depends on who you're dealing with, how you're dealing with them, and what their requirement is. Like I said to you, DWS is like a jacket. You put it on, and you deliver what they need.
Yeah, and we do have upcoming webinars that have been requested that we're going to be putting together on how to work the system backwards to forward, where you can promote the promotional plan and so on and so forth. So we'll do those in separate webinars so Matt can move forward.
Sure. Okay, so to map out a blueprint, I'm going to show you guys very quickly what we're going to do. We're going to type in waste, and we're going to do a filter. So what I've done is I've clicked on a root keyword over here at the top. I click on this big one because I want to create a silo in the system. So I'm going to type in waste, okay? I'm just going to press submit. Now with the filter, we can say show all keywords. We can filter by size. We can filter by type. Okay, so we can actually move between the different data bands, and we can actually filter by cost, what that keyword costs, and that'll bring back a subset of information. In my business filter rules, I want to only see the top 30 keywords. Okay, I just do that purely because I want the screens to load faster. We're busy in the middle of a hardware upgrade, so the system's going to be very rapid. It's going to change, and you won't get these delays. Okay, so what's happened here is we've typed in waste. Now I've dropped right into the world of waste, and we can see that waste is worth 65 million, and we're not going to make our money right up front. Okay, so we can see over there, within 2 months of being ranked, we still won't make money back. But if we get ranked for waste, that keyword's worth 22 grand to us in a year. Okay, then we've got disposal of waste, which is categories, waste recycling, waste bin collection. That's more of like the council type of stuff, or your local municipalities. So I want to zoom out of this. There's not really any silos that are worth my while. So within a second, I know that the waste type of category is not any good for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back, and I'm going to run down the top level of the profitable keywords and see what I can find pertaining to waste. So I can just map out a silo for you really quickly. This is getting done in real time. I've not looked at this market. I've just pulled in the keywords, and in this presentation I was going to show you how I go about putting this together. So I'm going to map out a silo. I'm going to put 5 categories into it, and then from there we'll move on through the process. So while the screen's turning, the way this works is you find the keywords. If you like a keyword, you will just check the keywords. So you can map out 5, 6 silos at once if you want to with the system. And you'll always know where you are. So we're actually in the root, cleaning services, and whatever we select will fall under cleaning services, like it's done here with office cleaning. So I'm going to come back up here and set to something else. Now window cleaning, that's worth £8,000 a month for my business. It's 275 leads I potentially will get in. Okay. So I'm just going to use window cleaning as the example over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down. Just want to double check that that's a silo. Yeah, that's a silo category. I'm going to click Move to Blueprint, and what that's going to do is going to take the keyword out of our grid, and it's going to shift it into this place over here. So when we move keywords from the grid to the actual the scorecard, the blueprint area, it removes the keyword out of the grid, so that whatever we bind to this keyword, we don't get any duplication. Okay, and guys, when you import keywords into DWS, each keyword sticks, so it will never put duplicate keywords in. Any duplicates are ignored and not added, so you'll never have duplicate keywords in the system. So there we go, window cleaning. Now I'm going to add some categories to window cleaning. So I click on window cleaning, and there's 2 ways you can use the system. If you don't want to use the filters, you can press Control F and you can type in window, and that will highlight all the keywords. That's a built-in function in Firefox. So we've got nothing on the screen related to Windows. Okay, so I'm just going to type that filter in here, window, and I want to go and find some keywords that contain window cleaning. Carpet cleaners is worth a full whack of money, so that's potentially another silo I would target there. And if I hover the dollar bill, I know that we've got a cost per click of £3.14 per keyword. Okay. So as the screen turns around, we'll get all our window keywords back, and from there we can actually just bind them to window cleaning, and essentially that could be our website, window cleaning with whatever we bind next. Right, so we're in window cleaners. We've got window cleaning services. Okay, and all these keywords will be profitable within a year. So that one's worth 1,000, 1,455, 600, so they become less and less and less. So I'm going to take those three there, and I'm going to bind them as categories under that keyword. And what you'll see what will happen is we've got window cleaning, we've got window cleaners, cleaning services, and professional window cleaning. And what that does, it sort of gives us the story. And this is what you want to do with DWS. Don't get too caught up in the technical stuff of what this has to do. We've got to think about our visitors. When they hit our website and they click on the window cleaning silo, we want to tell them exactly what we do. And when they look at this navigation, these micro thoughts that they will be typing in the search engine will clearly define. So they're thinking about window cleaning. They don't want to clean their windows, or their storefronts are looking dirty. Yeah, they can see window cleaning. You offer cleaners, cleaning services, and professional window cleaning. That there defines the whole story. Literally in one click of a button or a few clicks of a mouse, we've defined the whole silo architecture structure. And this is how easy it is in DWS. We're telling stories. And when we look at this whole story, yeah, we've defined, we do window cleaning, we professional window cleaners, we provide window cleaning services, we also do office cleaning, we do commercial cleaning, these are all the stuff, and then we've got window cleaning defined again, and we also clean businesses, companies, industrials, and we do contract cleaning. So the guys that come here, just from looking at those keywords, you can very quickly see the story. So if I type in clean just over here, and I highlight that, we can see how clean is mapped all the way through our story. Okay, we're in the cleaning market, and we've defined our cleaning thing. Everything is themed. Okay, and that's how rapidly we've built out our site.
Yeah, and Matt, let me just chime in here. For those of you just arriving who maybe have no knowledge whatsoever about who you are or what's going on, there's 2 or 3 different things that are happening here that are the results of 5 years worth of work of blood, sweat, and tears. Okay. You have just created a theme cluster, which is a digital hierarchy that allows you to rank higher on the search engines using far fewer inbound links than a competition. As if that wasn't enough, that's a website-style architecture. Okay, it's a special design model. As if that wasn't enough, we have a plugin for WordPress that allows you, he's going to show you, to click a button and do that, while we've created all the most profitable keywords in your market for your online promotions, which we showed you when we first logged on. That's the first promotional end result, which can be used for your social media, for your RSS syndication and automation, other advanced modules. So literally, you can see the blueprint cost overview, the blueprint value that Matt's given you below. You actually can give that cost, that value to a client, the ROI value, while you're building out your website structure for natural rankings, while you're building out your social media campaigns that's optimized, and while you're building out your RSS syndication for social media and other sales type models. Just wanted to throw that in there because it's really hard to grasp unless you've been kind of working on it for a few years how powerful that single function is, and really, really happy about it.
Cool. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's so easy, guys. It's like the system has taken a very technical subject and we made it really simple. So now you focus on your business, your story, your unique selling position, and you map out your thoughts of what best defines who and what you are and what you do. Okay, so what we got here now is the structure, and what I've done is I've clicked on View Solid Framework Blueprint. Okay, now when I click on that, it opens up a spreadsheet grid where essentially when you do the exports out of the system, for all the keywords, it'll give you the keyword grid, but for the blueprint, it'll give you this preview in a spreadsheet. You can put your logo onto this page, and you can actually present it to your client, and it gives them their whole story with all the metadata associated and the costs and the values. What you can see here is how we've defined office cleaning and how we've defined window cleaning. And by default, the system will always take the top levels and it'll put your supporting keywords in for you by default. But you can come across to each one of these. So we're going to type in window cleaners, and we can actually define our DNA braid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carpet cleaning. I'm going to go drop down into this carpet cleaning node here. I'm going to show you how we can actually build out our Sonomic set, the DNS braid, very rapidly. I think it's over here, carpet cleaners, yeah. I'm going to click on the carpet cleaning node, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do another step which we can do very quickly, and we're going to actually associate keywords as synonyms or supporting keywords, okay, in the system. Right, so I'm typing here is carpet. And when we do this, we're not worried about competing pages, we're not worried about search volume and all that kind of stuff. We want to get keywords that best define the page that we're going to build. So if you look at this and you think about a page on your website, when we talk about commercial carpet cleaning, what words in our data set will best define this page that we've actually mapped out here? And this is what we're doing now. We're creating our DNA braid, our synonym set. And this is where we take keywords that are most important in the market based on our keyword grid when it brings it back that are profitable, and we're going to associate that with that node, okay, or that keyword, that page on our site. So we're looking at commercial carpet cleaning. And when we talk about the commercial carpet cleaning stuff, we want to have carpet cleaning, carpet cleaners, we can have carpet cleaning machines, professional carpet cleaning, and carpet cleaning services. Now if you look at these keywords, we've taken this top two. That keyword there, carpet cleaning, is worth 10 grand. Carpet cleaners is worth 4 grand. That's worth $400 a month. But each one of them are actually worth leads driving in. Now by binding these keywords to that actual page and then contextually adding them into our copy when we speak about it, I'm going to add these as supporting keywords. When I do that, and the page reloads, it doesn't remove those keywords from the keyword grid screen. All it does is associates that they're with them. And what you'll see here now when this page turns is that, sorry, that's the wrong one, refresh. What we've just done there is we've created our anchor text. We've created the most important keywords we want our writers to use when they're writing the copy for this page. And for the search engines, when the search engines look at this over here, they look at that synonym set for the carpet cleaning, that tells them a very specific story about that page. Now if you think of what happens on the bigger scale, all our anchor text are going to be linking in. The page sending us the page that's doing the promotion is using one of these keywords as an anchor text and it's linking back to the carpet cleaning. Okay, and there's a synomic relationship between the two, and everything is unique and everything is related. Okay, and this makes things very easy for the writers to write. So what we do is we just rapidly map out a whole blueprint, and this is how we get ranked for thousands of keywords, because we create an effect which is called keyword stemming, and as these pages get ranked, the page rank that gets passed in from the backlinks to these pages, they run up and down through the microsilo here, through the supporting articles, which in turn help that keyword, which is a category, get ranked. Within the categories, within the silo, page rank flows up or down, which helps these get ranked quicker with far fewer inbound links. And they then pass on buoyant page rank to the top level keyword, which is the silo, which is the top level of the actual market segment or theme, and helps you get ranked for that keyword. And the effect of doing this is by getting these ones ranked, it lowers your barrier to entry and time to rank for that keyword. It cuts your cost, your development cost, and your backlink cost. And the same applies for the big, hard to get ranked for keywords over here. You're cutting their time to rank right down. You're cutting and reducing the cost for content and backlink development. And the byproduct and the effect of doing this with silo architecture means that you're going to get ranked for all of these keywords. Even though you're not actively promoting them, you will start getting rankings for these keywords as well.
Yep, and I don't want to get into too many advanced techniques here today because of time constraints, but I will just add that Matt and Sue have, with that function right there, which we'll get more in the members area into, you've completely annihilated the issue of this so-called over-optimization and all these other things that don't get me started. So that's all a part of that area.
Yeah, so I'm going to move on now. We've built out our website. And like I said, with DWS, if we're targeting window cleaning, we can put our keyword in and we can move right to the end and we can promote it. Or actually, we'll write our content, we'll publish our site live, and then we'll promote it. If we've got a little niche where we're targeting a specific niche keyword, like we saw with the gold star, we could build a little single site. Because the keyword is only 800,000 pages, we could build a single category with 2 or 3 supporting articles, and we can see how many articles we need simply by looking at the number over there or hovering over the actual keyword. So ideally, window cleaning, you want roughly 20 supporting articles to define this theme nicely based on the page rank and the competitiveness of that actual theme. Okay, and we can very quickly see what we need to do. Okay, so the more supporting articles you can add on the site, the less inbound links you need. It's a balancing act. The less articles you write, the more inbound links you need. So you got to sort of balance it out. Some places you can't put that much in. But when I look at this keyword over here, all we need is 6 supporting articles. Okay, so if we wrote 6 supporting articles, that's essentially that keyword we're targeting. And like I said earlier, 5 supporting articles that are themed to support it, we can take that keyword and smash it. Okay. So there we built the site. The DNA braid is the next step, and this is where we can go in and refine our synonymic set. Our synonymic set being the supporting keywords and the synonyms we add over here. Now, if you don't have synonyms like commercial cleaning, you could say commercial cleaner, commercial cleaners, commercial cleaning. You can add them as synonyms on the next step. This is essentially all we do over here. You would click on the keyword and you can add your supporting keywords and your synonyms, or you can actually look at the story and you can delete the keywords that actually don't feel fitting nicely. Remember, only add 2 or 3 nice keywords and that makes the job easy for the writers. You add 50 keywords, it's a pointless exercise and your writer is not going to know what to focus on. You actually dilute the purpose of what you're doing. So over here we can add custom synonyms to this keyword. We're looking at window cleaning. We can just type in window cleaners, or we can type in London window cleaners, or Glasgow window cleaners, or New York window cleaners. Whatever you want to write, you can actually just type them in if you don't have them, and they'll bind them as synonyms. So that's the first part of the story. Step 1 and 2 sort of sit together, and this is where we define the framework. And it can either be one keyword, or it can be a blueprint of 200, 300, 400 keywords, or up to 1,000 keywords, like the one that I've just worked on for a client, which is doing a national promotion. Next we come to team management. Okay, team management is a very important module, and this is where DWS helps you to scale your business. So if you're a one-man shop and you're doing everything yourself and you're working 15 to 20 hours a day, your wife's screaming at you because she never sees you, your kids are not happy with you, they don't know who you are, this is where this can actually change the way you do things. So I'm going to close that off there. I'm going to show 2 different perspectives over here and give us different examples. In this project here, Mr. Matt is overworked, and this is typical to most people. He's got 200 hours worth of work on online marketing, he's got 51 hours work of house clearance, and he's got 16 hours worth of work on cleaning services. These are all tasks that have been assigned, and he's working on 3 projects. Each of these projects is potentially, well, let's pretend this is a client, and he's getting behind. He's just not coping anymore, he's not keeping up. But he doesn't believe that everybody can do the job as great as he can. If Matt got in some guys to do contract work from and did specific tasks, he could very rapidly reallocate tasks and win back his time and focus on building his business and making it better, because everybody can write a content. You can find tons of guys who can write better articles than you can. There's tons of guys that can do promotional work, and 5 is a prime example. So this example, that the team manager screen, this helps you manage your own time, and very quickly you can see how you max out. Doing everything yourself, your time gets swallowed up and you don't move much more further. However, if you take the leverage of other people's time and find an outsource to them, you can win back your time, but you can also manage multiple people from the screen very quickly. Now, what the system does is if your time is running out, you'll get a little red alarm clock and it says time to consider outsourcing. Find out how. We sort of linked to places where it shows you how to do outsourcing properly. Okay. Now, when I flip the screen to the other side, here we got a task of where I was overloaded and I got somebody else in. Okay, now I've got them overloaded with work. Now, do I get more people, or do I actually have to go and manage my time more effectively and manage my staff more effectively? With DWS, it factors all of this in, and you can see per project what's being done. You can see how much work's been done. Now we want to see why is Sarah behind with her work. We simply click on the green arrow, and this will bring up all her work for that particular task. Okay, now why is it not coming up? Oh, there we go. It took some time to load up all the tasks. Now, excuse me. The way this works is this screen that we've just put in, I've just added this literally last week. This is brand new into the system. This screen's been designed to help people relocate tasks rapidly. So you can either reassign tasks and change the data that's due. So let's say, for example, one client says, look, put a hold on the project. Don't do that work right now. Let's come back to next month. You can come to his project. You can actually click on it, and you can say, okay, cool. All these tasks over here need to get sent back to September. And we'll just press submit. And what it's going to do is going to reshuffle my time, so you can see my time has decreased. And the reason for this is the system looks at your time management from this month only, and then it looks at all the tasks you've not completed from the month before and whatever. So anything prior to this date, this current month and back the backlog, it'll show you how much work is allocated. So we've just reassigned and pushed work forward, and that's actually knocked our time down, and we've won time back. So it's gone back from like 30 odd to 25. Now if you look at Sarah's workload, okay, actually we took work off Sarah and we shifted to ourselves, we shifted it forward. We look at Sarah's workload, she's absolutely swamped, so I'm going to take some work here and I'm going to actually assign it to myself. Okay, I'm going to move it to now to today's date. So we're going to move from 25, we're going to shift back up. Okay, so as we reload, we can see that the time has increased. Okay, her time is decreased and mine is decreased. And this is how easy it is to move tasks around in DWS per project. We can actually go by person, by project that they're working on, and we can reallocate work. If certain projects get put on hold or certain projects come up as actually a deadline, you can actually log in and you can reallocate work and move the priority onto a specific task. And this is brilliant for guys who've got teams, because you can rapidly see who's doing what, when, and how, what's priority in your business at this point in time, which deadlines need to get met, and you can move resources around very quickly with just a few clicks of your mouse, and you can actually see what's going on. Further part of this is you can rapidly just add a team member that'll put them into the workload. Your team members will only actually appear over here when work is assigned to them, okay? Then we've got to find outsourcing staff, and this is for all these little micro niche tasks. So if your time's getting swamped up creating Facebook accounts or creating all sorts of little tasks or making little videos or doing specific things, we've got a whole directory in DWS that allows you to just hop to Warrior Forum to get jobs done, to Fiverr. If you're looking for virtual assistants, you can go to Global Staff. This list is growing all the time as we're finding other companies that do good stuff. And all you do is, if I want the press releases written, I can go to Fiverr and it'll cost me $5. Now, would you rather pay $5 and get the majority of the work done, put them into your system, and fine-tune them, or would you rather sit and do it yourself and eat up all your resources? So from the team management screen, this is where you can manage all the tasks and you manage your human resources, you manage your people. And this doesn't matter, it can be one person, two people, it can be 20, 30, 40, 50 people. The chart will show you who's busy, who's doing what on what project, and if you need to micro niche stuff out, you can actually just do that and do the micro task outsourcing at this point in time. Go to Fiverr, pay the guy the $5, get the stuff back, drop it into the process wherever it's needed, and get on with the job. That's basically what the team manager screen does. It's super simple, but it's very powerful, guys. In the course industry, when I worked there, we had a team of 5 guys. We had to support 1,800 people across 5 call centers in Ireland and across the UK. And this is how we managed things. We made a simple system similar to this, where all the help desk stuff came in. The help desk stuff came from first line support to second line support to third line, where it was more hardware and infrastructure stuff. And we just rapidly managed our resources. And we kept the team down to like 5 people. So in a big organization, instead of having 10, 15 IT staff, we only had 5 guys and we managed 1,800 people. And this is how we did it. By clicking on the Outlook icon, that basically just allows you to send an email directly to that person and you can communicate with them. So now we're going to hop back into the actual development cycle. We've got our team sorted up, our resources are fine. Site content, this is the primary site content, and this is how we're going to manage all the content on the website. So when we click into this, we get to see our silo architecture, and over here you get 3 different icons. The edit icon, the icon with the little red dot, which means it's not been edited, and when it's written, you get a little green tick. So you can actually see when things are done. and how they're getting written. And it's great when you've got outsourcing staff. You log into your control panel here, you look, and all of a sudden you come back 3 hours later and there's 5 more texts. It's a very satisfying feeling watching this happen. As work is actually getting done, you see this happening. So when you come and click on that icon with brag credit that's been written, you can actually go look at the article and you can see what's written. And it opens it up and you can see the whole article. You can see the links. You can look at what they've done. You can come in now and refine your meta keyword tags, and you can take your time to really fine-tune your project and get it crafted to exactly what you want. So the way this works on the site content is we've got our steps over here. So the first thing we want to do is order our content. And remember I said to you with DWS, you can actually zoom right in and you can zoom right out. And this is what we're doing. We've gone to order content. We're going to zoom right in. Who's going to write the content? What ring is it going to? Okay. What quality of article writing we've got to do. We've got courses on this in the certification. We cover this in detail on the paying article writing methods. In the training members area, we've got a lot of information on how to go about doing this. You can define how much words are required, how much time is allocated, and what the system does. It brings your default article cost forward. However, if it's a specific article written by a professional person and they want to charge you more money, you can put that cost in for that particular article as the cost per unit that you're bidding or charging out there. So you're keeping track of your expenditure as you're going through this project. We've got another little system over here. We can apply templates, and if I open that up, you can create custom writing templates which tie in with the paying article writing method. And what this basically does, it allows you to define a template, define the article almost before, and the way it works. So if I look at this quickly over here and I click on this icon over here, 3 ways to achieve, what this does is you create the template, and in this template I've actually embedded a video. Okay, this video is going to basically tell me how to write an article. I'll show you a sample of this shortly, and then here's the writing style I want them to use. So I can say 3 ways to achieve in 24 hours. You can build a template in. So what happens is when the guys actually come to write the article, okay, and we've ordered our content, we can define that, we can say this is for that, and we can say when we want this article written for. Let's just say we want them done for the 5th of the month. We can actually come down here and we can see what articles we need to write. So as all the articles are ordered, they get ticked off, okay? And when they're ticked off, we can actually see that they're still being written. They're not finished yet. When you get the 2 green ticks, you can actually see the articles written, like there, for example. Now here's one that's not been ordered. So I want to order that article there, and I want to build out this small silo over here. Now when you look at this grid, we can see the silo, the category supporting article, who it's assigned to, when it's due by, what type of article it is, and the status of the actual article. So it's ordered, it's not finished. When it's finished, it will say content written. Okay, so all we've got to do now is create order site content, and what it does, it goes across to this little template here. This we've got an outsourcing template. It's like a little instruction template that you can use, or you can actually, if you want to create a default video, highlight, click on the source button and just drop the YouTube object code. It's the legacy code. The iframe code doesn't work well with Firefox. There's a bug in Firefox that tends to make iframes crimp up, so it won't show your video if you made it 620 wide. It'll basically only show it like 400 wide. It shows the video, but it makes it smaller than what it should be. There's something in Firefox that doesn't make it work. Whereas if you use the legacy embed code from YouTube, that works pretty well. Okay, so when I click on the instruction here, this template basically just tells you the timeline, what's expected, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and further information. You can fill in the gaps, or you can just write your own message to whoever. Click send. What that does, it takes this workload that you've ordered and it puts those tasks into the actual person you've assigned the work to into their work bin. Okay, and when we come back over here, where else there? There's there. You can see that those have been actually assigned to me and the deadline. Okay, so it's all ordered. Now, what happens is when a team log in, they'll just see the home screen, and I'll show you that shortly. At the end of this, I'll just log out and show you another team screen of what their view is. But I think it is with credit score. I just want to show you what happens when the guys actually click into it. Yeah, here's one of them, yeah. What happens is when the guys go to current tasks for this month, the system will bring up all the work they have to do for this month, okay? And if it's late, you'll see a little red flag popping up, and I'll show you that it's late, okay? So I'm looking for this credit score 1 year. It's not in here, so I'm going to click on that there just to show you what happens when we actually assign a template and we actually embed a video of how it actually all works very nicely. When the guy clicks on the link to write his article, he's going to see the synonyms that you've added, the supporting keywords, and he's going to see the contextual keywords. If there's supporting synonyms and supporting keywords that you bound to this actual article, these are keywords that you want the writer to use in the copy. The contextual keywords are optional, okay? If they want to know what the instruction is for this article, they can click on this, and there's our video that's embedded. So you could do a personal video to your team, and if I click on this, okay, there's this example of how you can actually create a video that you do once and you use it all the time, telling the guys how to use the template article. So there we're saving time of not having to rewrite. We're using media to communicate with our team. If you're outsourcing, that takes away any ambiguity. So this is very important that you guys understand this, that the clearer you are, the more comfortable your workers will be, the happier they'll be to do the work, and you get a better result. So once that's done, we've got the article headline. We can come in here and just type the headline, and then when we come in over here, this is where we can fill in our metadata for our page. So when we brought our website out, all our meta keywords are embedded for us over here. We can write a headline that will capture people's attention. Okay, remember on Google, the blue description, that's the title of your page that they're using. The more that is an irresistible offer, the more click-throughs you get there, the better it helps you with your rankings. The description should support your title, and then the synopsis is a lead-in to this article. Okay, it's basically a brief summary of like 300 words, whatever, 200 words, just defining what you're talking about over here. Once the article's done, you can click Create Article. Now, if you're a one-man shop, you never have to leave this process. You start at the beginning and you work your way through. You don't have to log into team screens. You don't have to create accounts or different logins for yourself to manage your work. You just run through your process and get the task done. If you're a team guy, I'm just going to log at you quickly.
Okay, so what he's showing now is the perspective from your actual outsourced team, and that's something I wanted to add, everyone, is that your team never sees your executive empire, personal and broadcasting and publishing network, okay? Because we're giving you everything here. We're giving you the way to design the network, the complex relationships between social media, SEO, and traffic, all that stuff. You really, as you begin to build up the network across multiple keyword clusters and themes, you just really want your outsourced team, whether you're using replacemyself.com or 123 outsourcing or whatever, or whether you're using Fiverr to build your whole video tube network, you just really only want them to see the tasks in front of them, and you want to govern that situation really clearly. So they're only going to see that. That's what he's showing you now here.
Yeah, so you can see they can only see the home screen and their tasks. When they look at their writing tasks, they can see there's the primary content. This person, Sarah, has got 30 articles to write. She's got 1 directory submission to do, and then she's got 3 promotional articles to write. She's got no work completed for this month, and this little pie chart breaks down her workload and shows her exactly, very clearly, what's expected from her from this month. Okay, she can click on current tasks, and she'll see the same type of screen. So if you're speaking to her on the phone or Skype, you can actually talk her through this if you're training them, because they will see, they'll click on current tasks, and they'll see the blue icon. They'll see exactly what you see in their grid. They get shown the keyword they're going to write about, and when they click on this, this is going to show them the same story. So there's unity between what you see and what they see. You always see the same thing, and this helps guys when they're doing the work to see what they have to see. So they can just come in and write the articles. If you don't want them editing this, you can just tell them, don't do that. Just write the content. Make sure you use the supporting keywords. The same goes for all the accounting steps that they go through. Everything there, it's the same principle. So when they come into the work screens, it's the same step. It's not complex to lose. They basically click on a link, they click on the task, they write the task, or they action the task, and that's all they have to do. It's not complex from them whatsoever. It's very, very, very clear what they need to do. So I'm just going to jump back into this, the master control system here. And when we come back to the content screen, that's basically what the content screen is all about. It's as simple as that. Okay, you've defined the framework, you've defined the DNA braid, you've assigned the work to your team. The team's coming in and they're writing the articles. As they're writing them, they're getting ticked off as done. And you can see all the tasks. You can see all the tasks for the whole month, for the whole project. You can actually pre-order everything up front. So as a team member, when you're ordering the content, you can look at all your silos and you can say, okay, we're going to build this website out over a year. In January, we're going to do this. February, we're going to do that. March, we're going to do that. April, we're going to do that. And this is what you're going to have mapped out.
And also keep in mind that we also provide you with the different. We provide you with a different kind of templates, the different kind of content. Again, we're scratching the surface here. You can provide any kind of multimedia content, anything from transcription to the painkiller article method, which is proprietary to us for later shredding into your one feed network, which allows you to distribute bite-sized chunks throughout your repurposed content network. I mean, this is just crazy stuff that, because of time constraints, we're not able to get into all of it, but just, suffice it to say that you can have your team create any of the processes and templates that we're giving you, and that's part of the system when you buy.
So that's that content, and the way we write content over here, it's the same in the promotional plan, so I'm not going to go into detail. The same way it works with ordering content, I'm going to go through this now shortly. But once your site's built out, right, remember earlier I said you can build out your site being a single keyword, and we found that one keyword that was worth £1,000 a month, and it was 800 or 100,000 pages competing. It's a very juicy keyword. You could essentially just get that keyword in there, your 5 supporting articles, you can check them, publish them, and we'll go through the website blueprint and we'll build them out. I want to just basically go to there's it there. Going to log into this quickly here and show you in real time how we just map out our website, and then I want to open up another one here which is done. It's got content in it. These two sites here are just demo sites we use for testing, so if the headlines are a bit skewed and wrong, it's just because we've not gone and fine-tuned and done them there. What I'm going to show you now is, let's close that down there. We've come over here, okay, let's go back to our other project. This is the one here. We've written our content. We're now at the website blueprint. Another way you can make money with DWS, okay, and I'm just going to touch on this very quickly, is if you map out a blueprint for a client, just a framework, and they want to write their own content, you can essentially map it out, come out here, and you can actually publish the whole content, and part of the deal is you can actually sell them the WordPress framework if they haven't built a site yet, and you can charge them for setting up the whole website, okay? Now, it doesn't matter first how you do it. The point is you've got the job done for them, and it's got a perceived value, and you should tap into that perceived value. So when we look at this now, this screen, the publishing screen, you can select all the keywords and publish in there. Wherever we've got the blue circles, that means it's actually been published already. We don't have to republish it again, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to publish out that one there and those ones down there. And what you'll notice is that those that have not been written at all, they'll be blank. That one article's been written, and these are still being written. So we actually only got one article that's got content in it, okay? And I click publish, and what this does is it sets the whole system up to actually build the XML file so that we can actually import into the blueprint for ourselves. And there we can see we can have everything published. If we don't want to publish everything, sorry, wrong button, we can actually unpublish the whole node. And let's just say, for example, we want to build out a single site for a client. This month, the client wants us just to map this out for them. They want to work on that. They can afford to do that part of the process. Okay, I'm just demonstrating to you different ways you can rapidly use the tool to create different products for your business and services you can offer. We've basically published those ones there. These are all blank. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come into this quickly over here. I'm going to log into this WordPress and just delete all the stuff, and then we'll hop across to the other website there, and I'll show you how we how it looks like when we actually got a big site built in with content and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just going to come over here and delete those. Okay, it's taking me 2 seconds. While I'm doing this, I'm going to go to our posts and clear out all the categories that are created. Now, you know when you do this job, setting up a website manually, it takes you ages because you've got to create the page, wait for it to load, and then you have to get to the next page and do the same thing over and over again as you build out your whole site. If you're building a website out that's got a few hundred pages, you're looking at probably 8 hours worth of work. And what the Silo plugin does is it rapidly builds everything out for you literally in seconds. So if you put all your content into DWS, what some of the guys do in DWS is to actually get the client to log into the system, okay, as a team member, and they have the client actually write the content for them. The client actually puts the content into it. They go into the system and they actually go and optimize it and get all prepped and ready before they build the site out. So then we've deleted everything. We've got a blank website. There's nothing in here. I'm going to come back to DWS. I want to jump back into this project. I'm looking at all of this now. I'm actually going to publish the whole site just to show you how it's building out 2 silos so we can see the different nodes. Okay, so I'm going to click publish. This is about a 20-page website now. Okay, that's all done. I'm going to come here to this, hover over it, create the sitemap, the XML for the thing. I'm going to save it to my desktop. So when it comes, you can see this gives the primary keyword, the project ID, so you can identify it later on, and it creates the XML file. We then come here to the plugin, and we've installed our silo builder. Now remember, soon I said we've just done a website that we had 200 silos in it. So under each silo we had roughly 5 categories, and under each category we had roughly 5 supporting articles. And we're looking at about 2,000 keywords throughout that whole blueprint. If we had to go create each page for that website, that would take us days of painstaking keywords, just creating the pages, let alone creating all the anchor texts and the internal linkings of the stuff. You're talking a good solid week's worth of work. Now imagine that's got a massive perceived value. So if you're going to say to your client, look, I have to build a 2,000-page website for you, therefore it's going to cost you $3,000 to do that job. If this was a site, I would go, I'll click open, I'd say import, and that's my website built. Okay, and I'll say it again. That's my website built. 2,000 pages.
Check, please.
Let me go back here again, guys. This is a checkmate. Okay, the guys who get the sites up the fastest win the race, especially if it's a new and emerging market. We've come in, we've mapped out our blueprint, we've defined the DNA braid and all the anchor text. Our team's written the content, or we've written the content all into DWS. Like for example, there's our article. We click on that. This brings up the actual article that was written. Okay. If we wanted to edit the article, we click on edit. We can refine it before we publish it. Okay. We then went and published it. And if that was a 2,000-page website, we built all the pages. There's all our pages mapped out and built for us. There's all our supporting articles, which are now posts. There's all our categories defined. All the internal linking, all the internal structure, everything is done and dusted. It's game over. If I refresh this website, okay, wait, the first thing I have to do is I have to come to my menu. There are a few little things you've got to do. You just basically come to your menu, and what you want to do is you just want to define your silos. So I'm going to come over here. I want my home page, and
while you're doing that, we had a couple of really good questions. One was, if the plugin is removed or deactivated later, does the site content remain? And the answer to that question is yes. It's actually populating the database, so you can take the plugin away later. They never have to know that you used a plugin, and everything will still be there. The other question was, will the plugin continue to update the website content as it's updated by the outsourced team? And what happens there is, within Domain Web Studio, there's a screen where you can check what it is that you want to publish to the website. So you only want to publish those things that are ready right now. So if you've got one silo ready to go, you can publish that silo, and then you can come back and publish the next silo later. Or you can start with just all of the silo landing pages and then come back and do the category level later and the supporting article level even after that.
Right. So let's add that to the menu. So you click Add, you save your menu, and basically what happens is it updates everything, and when we hover over our page and we refresh it, it's going to map us all out. Okay. So the other thing you want to do here is in your widgets, you want to make sure that you move this widget, the DWS Advanced Style, into your main sidebar, and then when you go to your pages, there's one thing you have to do in your pages. You have to define, depending on what theme you're using, you have to come and define the theme column. Okay, so we go to the template, we're going to say use a sidebar template. So I just update all those. So these are the small tweaks I'm talking about that you have to do with the plugin. You have to come in and just fine-tune these things. And when it's done, that basically maps up the whole website, gets the hierarchy in place, and this is the end result of a site that's actually been built to the plugin. So we got our menu, got home, bad credit, credit score, credit check. We've put in the link to google.com into our menu because I could go to one of our other network sites just as an example. Here we've got our silo keywords, right? They're all sitting at the top level on the index page. If I click on bad credit, the plugin does all the silo architecture for you. So from the bad credit homepage, we've dropped down into root. It's linking back up to the home, but it's also showing all our sibling keywords within the bad credit silo. We're not seeing anything in credit check, and we're not seeing anything in credit score. There's none of their silo keywords. This is all siloed. Okay. If I click on how to fix bad credit, and we drop down into the how to fix bad credit article, we can see all how to fix bad credit siblings, which link back up to how to fix bad credit, and then the page rank flows up and down the silo. So everything's done for you properly. Okay, there's the article there. This example of bad credit is basically on the plugin. It allows you to insert excerpts into the actual page by using this shortcode over here. If you take that shortcode, the silo excerpt, what it does is in DWS, when we actually write the content, and we've got the synopsis block sitting just below the description text area, when we fill in the description into the synopsis block, let me just go to current title. Actually, I'm just going to click on that one there. What happens is in the website, it'll actually give you the synopsis. So you have how to fix bad credits, and then we will see over here the short description that actually leads into the article. Okay, so it's helping guys drop down into other things as well. Okay, so with the next update on the WordPress on the Silo Builder plugin, we're giving the ability to define the colors on the silos, the categories, and supporting articles. You can define the spacing between them, and you can also define the type of font that you want to use and how many characters get used. So it's going to give you more control over what actually gets shown in the excerpt function over here. But literally, what you see what's just happened there, guys, is we've taken a process that takes days sometimes, depending on how big your site is, and we've actually mapped out a whole website. Now, when you are using your team, and your team's going in and they're writing the content, and they're developing everything for you, and everything's working together in unison, you essentially flowing through this process on a linear basis, going step by step through the process, and you've rapidly built out a website. And this is why outsourcing is a good idea. It's not a bad idea, it's a good idea because the system manages it for you. It's not difficult anymore. Outsourcing is difficult when you have to do it through a spreadsheet where all the data is segmented and spread out across multiple places. Whereas when you work as a team and everyone's looking at the same data set and everyone's working on the same bit of information and all the information is flowing into one place, the whole game changes. This now becomes a very clear thing. And like I said, if someone does bad work, you can essentially flip them over. You say, look, you're fired. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Take their work, and you can push it to another team member. You get another outsourcer in, or you can contact the virtual company you're dealing with and say, look, I don't want that guy working on my projects anymore. Please can you give me someone else? And you can switch it out like that.
Yeah, we'll also add that, this is a little bit of a sneak peek. We are creating our own Fiverr platform right now. It's being built right now. That means that we'll be vetting, in the same way that Sue and Matt vet all of the backlinking systems and I vet all of the social media integration and traffic generation systems underneath, we're going to be providing, if you are into micro gigging, and again, you do not have to micro gig these types of things, it's just an option for you. we'll be clearing a lot of those for you with our own platform. And because there's a lot of things on Fiverr that we just won't ever recommend, or it's just not things that are really useful for this type of network. So just so you know that's coming, that'll be an integral part as well of the outsourcing module area. I'm kind of excited about that as well.
Cool. So yeah, I'll just reiterate what we've done here, guys. We've done a lot of talking here. It's taken us about an hour and a half to get through this whole process. But if you think of all the stuff we've covered, it's incredible what we've actually gone over, and we've only touched the surface. We've built out a silo structure, we've mapped it out, we've put the DNA braid in defining how the page should be written, what content, what primary keywords must be used. We've then gone and set up our team, and we've defined who does what in the team, when and how, and by what date. So everyone's got their deadlines and their priorities. The content guys have come in, they've written the articles, they've pushed it back in. We refined the content, happy with everything. We've dropped our videos into the pages, we put our pictures in, we've done some formatting on the context of the stuff, we made the page look really nice. Then we went to our website and we said, okay, we're going to publish either or we're going to publish a specific page. Whatever we decided to do, the system works with us. It allows us to build continuity type of packages, especially if you're dealing with clients. We can say to the client, look, for the next 6 months, you're going to pay us X amount of money, and we can do this for you this month, we can do that for you that month, and we can do this. So for the next 6 months, you can actually plan out what they do, and you get them to pay you a month in advance for the work. Okay? Then once we've done that, we hit the promotional plan. And this is where everything gets really going. Okay? The way this works is with the promotional plan, we've got this vertical process running down, and this is where we drill right in. And we click on step 1, is the promotional plan. And over here we define what we're doing, okay? So for this project, we want to deal with mainly business-to-business type of customers. We want contracts, cleaning businesses. And the leads we're going to generate from this website is for guys that are in this industry. We're going to work on a local and national level, and we're going to promote our stuff across all these platforms. Now, the keyword targeting is cleaning services. If we click on any of these links, it'll take that keyword and I'll look at it, at what's available for cleaning services, and we can actually see through all of this. For example, if I clicked on Ongili, this gives us a scan across the web that shows us what's happening on all different fronts, whether it's blogs, press releases, Q&A type of websites, videos, news groups, discussion boards, what's the buzz on the social sphere, what reviews are being used, and what's happening in real-time search. We can actually see everything. So if we click on real-time search, you'll watch the feed streaming through as people are publishing stuff. And also give you ideas for your promotions, okay? So what we do is we come in here and we define this. Once we define that, by this time, if you've published your website, you should have a domain to put in there, okay? If you haven't, there's no point doing step 6. So once your website's up and live, you tell the system what the URL is, whether it's a subdomain or a new domain, whatever you're doing. You then come here, define your unit cost for your production levels. You put all your costs in, and if you're doing a lot of local type of stuff, you want to put in your company address and your elevator pictures, and you want to update a profile picture for the specific project. Once that's done and update all, you've set you define the rules of what your promotion boundaries are and where you're going to be promoting. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come to our promotional blueprint. That's step 2. We're going to create a promotional plan. Now this is where the real power comes together, because what's going to happen is it's going to take everything that we've done all the way through the system. It's going to take all this factoring and putting together, and we can actually define a date when we're going to have this promotion start. So let's just start this from the 9th, okay? We have to start preparing. The client only wants to start promoting for the 9th. This is brilliant when you actually work with clients to do seasonal things. You can actually create the promotions to work in line with this seasonal stuff. So we're coming here to the end of the year. The clients might be wanting to start preparing for Christmas. Usually October is when they start, but this is where you want to start getting ranked for the Christmas rush. So anything that's got to do with Christmas, you can actually check it off, and you can actually promote it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to exclude everything from this blueprint. So it's totally blank. There's nothing there. It's all fresh and new. By default, I usually just click this button and clear everything out when I start a new promotion, just to make sure that it's all clear. When it comes back, we're then going to use the default date, and we're going to actually start a promotion on the first silo. The rest of the stuff can sit, okay? So I'm going to click on these keywords over here, and window cleaning is going to be the first part of my business I want to promote. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to click include. Now, when you're sitting with a client and you're talking to them and you actually take them through this process, you can do a screen share or you can take snapshots and give them different options. You can use this as a modeling factor and you can actually determine what's going to be the best way to promote this. Okay, and you can say, look, this is what we're going to do for you X, and just by taking screenshots you can actually copy the promotions of what you're going to do. So we're promoting this first silo with those categories, okay, that's always selected and we're looking at it. We can see the amount of tasks month by month, so the pillars that are going up is the actual workload. So we can see in January we've got a spike, May we've got a spike, and in July, August we've sort of got a spike as well, and everything tethers off. Those are places you want to start making sure that you've got resources available to get all the work done. Most of the time you're on this even plane and you can see for this project roughly how much resource you need. The red line indicates the cost of writing brand new content versus if we repurpose content. We take something that we created already and we change it and republish it to drive traffic back to our website. The whole point of the syndication and promotion planner is to create a plan that drives traffic to your website. Remember, backlinks are a byproduct of your actions. It's not the focal point, okay? So yeah, we can see step by step, month by month, week by week, the costs involved, how much it's going to cost us, how much savings we can make if we repurpose our content. And these are things you can speak to your client. So when a client starts seeing savings, he might say to you, actually, you know what, we've got tons and tons of material that's in digital format that's been used for media publishing. We can actually use that. Or they might say, our help desk is full of requests with good questions. We can tap into the help desk and use that content and use it to repurpose and answer people's questions and publish it online. These are all things you can do to actually just get content and use to publish it. Yeah, the system maps out all the promotions you're going to do, tells you the workload, so it's very clear, and then by keyword, it maps out the whole keyword plan for you. And it gives you a forecast a year in advance, okay? So if a keyword takes 22 months to get ranked, it'll only show you the first 12 months, okay? Now, yeah, we can see our plan for August. We're working on window cleaning services, okay? And as we go through, we can see how we're backing our way into the market, where we end up with window cleaning being the primary keyword that we actually want to get ranked for. So if this is what we like and we want to proceed with this, all we do is we click Finalize Blueprint. That locks down the checkboxes. You cannot undo that process. So if you click Finalize, that's where you set in stone. And only when you finalize it do you actually move on to the next part. And this is where we create our third-party platforms. Now this step of the process is where you actually decide where you want to promote it. You do a bit of research and you find out what properties are popular and where do you want your message broadcast to. Where do your clients hang out? What type of forums? What type of article directories? Where would you best put your information, okay? And we've got this massive directory with all kinds of stuff, and what you can see is categorized, and it tells you the location and it gives you the page rank. And nothing in this list is under a page rank of 2. The minimum is a page rank of 2, but on average it's page rank 4 and above, okay? We can see we've got directory submissions. We're about to add a whole bunch of more directories for the local type of stuff. Soon I'm busy working on it at the moment as you're speaking, so in the next day or two the whole local side of things will be enhanced. Just for interest's sakes, we built in this thing from Conquest where it shows you all how browsers are used against mobile, so you can start thinking about mobile things. We're going to be advancing different types of promotions in the section as we move on. But the way this works is you select the owner who's going to do the tasks, you select the dates due, how much time you allocate per task, and then all you got to do is simply check what you want built out, okay? And when you press submit, it'll go to the outsourcing screen. You'll define what you want the guys to do on these things, so you'll tell them basically build out these properties, take all the personal information, brand them, put out banners where you can, put links to the whatever location of your site, and you get all the properties built out. When you assign the tasks, they'll actually fall into the team's control screen, and you'll be able to see all the tasks here for properties where they sit. But what it does is it keeps track of all your usernames and passwords per project. So if you've got 10 projects and you've got different profiles for each project, this soon becomes a logistic nightmare just keeping track of what username and password is used where. With the system, yeah, this keeps track of everything for you, and it makes it easy for the guys to do it. So now we're going to start promoting, and we're going to step 4, where we order our promotional content. Now, once again, you can actually order all the content and assign it to one person if that's what they do, and it will plan out their workload for the entire year. Okay, or you can do the first 4 weeks, or you can actually assign it by week per keyword. It depends on how granular you want to do. Typically, I like to use that function. I click Find Unassigned Keywords. It brings up the list, and over here we can actually assign who the writer is, and we can actually assign who's going to publish the stuff on the web once it's written. Okay, so we can see here from the promotional stuff, we've got 61 article directories we have to write. We've got to write 61 blog articles and 2 press releases. This is not now. This is for the entire promotion. Okay, guys? So what I'm going to say now is I'll just go and say I want 10 articles written, and I'm going to write them and publish them. What it does, it puts your repurpose content costing over here. So if you're not going to repurpose, just increase the price. I click Assign Specific Tasks, and you'll notice that my workload will increase. I get my instruction for the promotional content, I fill in the form or put my video in, I send it to myself or to my team. What happens next is, before I go to the writing part of the process, I'm going to show you that under conversational content, we get a different type of stuff that has to happen when we order this. So we've got forums and social groups. And the reason why we include these things is you want to start driving traffic to your website from day one. Usually things take a few months to get ranked if you're working on more competitive keywords. You don't want to wait a few months to start getting traffic to your site. So by getting your team to engage in forums and social groups and start pushing your stuff out there and driving traffic back to your site, you essentially get traffic from day one if you start doing things right. And what I've done here, just as an example, I just wrote a little short code which I'm going to paste into the chat area of the webinar, and it's just a little Google hack to find content if you want to promote on forums. Okay, so typically what I'll do here is I'm just going to go to Google, for example. While it's loading, I'm going to throw this into a chat screen so you guys can all copy and paste it and save it. I'll stick that in there quickly. It gives you the framework of what you want to do. I'll explain it to you quickly. What we have here with this little code is we're looking for a particular platform, okay, using a primary keyword. We're adding a how-to question modifier, and then we're adding a few more single word keywords. And then the in-text over here, that little part there, says give me all the forums back that have more than 100 or less than 1,000 views. So when I click search, what this does, it brings us back 32 results, and we can see the entrepreneur forum, insurance forum, business forums. We've got outsourcing, how to. By looking through this very quickly, yes, 577 views, and we're talking about outsourcing, marketing, and how to use the site. This is an online community and business resource for women in business in Ireland. Now, if I was talking about DWS, I would jump in there, I'd engage in that conversation, I'd answer the questions that they're actually asking, and then I'll put my service or product forward and drive traffic back to my website. And this is how we find places to really inject what we're doing in places where people are actually talking about what we're looking for. So
yeah,
if you can get that.
When you look at the entire system, Matt, can we get back to Domain Web Studio? When we look at the entire system, what we're showing you as Cora, as the Cora bot, which is also a backlink system that we're creating for you, which drives amazing traffic with huge time on site, because you're actually, you're brokering solutions to problems. That's really what business is all about. You guys know that. I mean, there's enough of you on this call that really know what's really going on as far as converting and actually driving traffic and finding solutions to people's pains. That's the only thing that's ever going on. And this is really a cybernetic business system that we're giving you. So what Matt's showing you here is that by the time you move forward through having done the market research at a vertical online level, connected pains, you can actually know with our next module coming up very, very shortly, just a few days, all the pains in the marketplace, and on the promotional side, you'll have all the solutions and the locations where those pains are being discussed. You put those two together, and you've got a major system of brokering solutions to pains on every possible keyword combination and theme cluster on the web. And then what we have is we don't have we haven't revealed to you guys what we're really kind of doing with this personal broadcasting system, and I really want to close with that, Matt, if that's okay with you.
Russ, I'm going to be like another 10 minutes, and then I'll hand it over to you guys to do the
Okay.
final.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people dropping off the call, so we need to wrap it up.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, that shortcut I showed you there, that little snippet, just rapidly you can find, just by changing different platforms, you can quickly find how to communicate. So you just order the stuff. When we come to write the promotional content, it's the same process again. Here we can see we're writing to, it's a promotion type. We can actually see the target keyword. And what the DWS does, it actually spins out the keywords for you and takes your DNA Braid and actually puts them into anchor text. So when we click on the article as to be written, it gives you all the information before. If there was an article written for the website, you'd have your primary website article. When you write your promotional article, your team writer can see what the primary is, and they can write this article to drive traffic and speak to that typical article you've written there. They've got the contextual keywords of DNA Braid, but also it gives them the anchor text for the website, specific for what you're doing. So you can either have with tracking or without tracking. And when I click on source code and I paste this in here, what it shows you is the URL, exactly where we're talking about. It maps out the whole blueprint, but also it maps out key points in the system. And this is for a new module that's coming out. We're busy developing it. It's the tracking module, where we're going to have the ability to actually track where your clients are coming from, which exact promotion, and how they got to your website, and on what keyword they actually clicked to get there. Okay, so your writer can copy and paste the URL, and they can just wrap that anchor text with a sentence that actually says, if you're looking for commercial cleaning services, bang, give us a call today, and then put a phone number or whatever. So that's as simple as they write the promotional article. As soon as they write that, it drops into the publishing task bin, and when the guy comes to publish, all the places you've created above that you want him to publish on, they will select one of those places, they'll take the article, they'll publish it there, and as soon as it's published and it's live, they'll grab the URL and they'll actually log it into the screen where they published it, under the property they published it to. That automatically falls into the DWS one feed to rule them all type of URL. And per site within each empire, you get a customized XML feed that comes out of DWS, which then will syndicate across the web. And we cover this all in detail. Russell's written 2 courses. One is the one feed to rule them all. The other is the G++. He speaks about feeds in detail, and there's different courses in the members area that talk about how to get the most out of your feeds. And the end result is essentially what we have over here. Okay, let's get back to this. That promotional content, we developed the media, we've published it to the web, it's hit the one feed, and then the one feed is feeding back. Now this is not just to your website, it's to every single page within your silo structure, okay? And this is the important part. This is what I'm closing to you. Your promotional activities are essentially, for every time a guy writes a promotional activity, he's creating that network cluster around every single keyword within your website. So you have a micro network per keyword that's happening automatically as you promote your website, and it runs all the way through the top. And it creates this unstoppable force, and it becomes everywhere. You become everywhere on all media type and all media formats. And that's what DWS is, guys. It's a synchronized process from A to Z, managing the entire work process, and rapidly develops and builds websites for you. That's the system.
Okay. Yeah.
Russ, would you like to carry on?
Well, we'll just go ahead and close. I really appreciate the time you guys have taken for this. This is our product tour, and it's really only scratching the surface. But I also want to say that the training area itself, this is really your foundation. And I'm going to go ahead and unveil a couple of things here carefully. And just know that this is a foundation for what we're really up to. And what we're really up to is preparing for a completely video-driven cybernetic web. And when I say cybernetic, as you guys probably know, Google bought the major social media platform today, and I think it was called Firefly. Was it called? Somebody on the call can answer, something like that. This is just an example of them doing really what we're doing, and that's creating a social signal between what we call the tale of two Googles. And Google is really only one of our concerns. We're not concerned about Google at all. We're just preparing for what's really happening, which is traffic trumping search in many, many ways, especially through social signals. And what we're doing is we're preparing for video to wag the dog. By wag the dog, we mean that everything, the one feed to rule them all the social signals, the tale of two Googles, which is Google personalized results. That's the button in your upper right-hand corner of your Google search results screen. Okay, if you click the left button, you have your personal results. You click the right button, it's Google Legacy, right? And if you're logged in, you get one set of results. If you're logged out, you get another. And if your visitor to your website is logged into Google, you don't get the keyword that they get to your site on, all these things that I hope you guys know. And we teach you that because what all this is an indicator of huge amounts of data being uploaded very quickly in real time as we move into a real-time broadcast model. Okay, real time means right now. Okay, it means that if we were in a real-time broadcast model right now, I would be publishing this webinar would be going to YouTube live and be broadcasting live while it's being published to the web. And as soon as everybody hung up, or actually right now, would actually go through this entire network process that we just described to you and be syndicated everywhere. That's what we're creating essentially, is a multimedia-driven broadcasting system, and we'll be getting more into that. We're adding some modules that we really don't want to talk about right now, but it really is what I've asked for is if you just stood there and talked, or somebody in your company was talking about something, or a product or a service or a broadcast or the 5 different kinds of video types, whatever it is, that immediately upon being finished, it will break down your video or your audio, however you've created or produced that, into multimedia and be distributed in exactly the same method, some of them even more automated than you saw today, which are in the works right now, and be syndicated along your entire broadcast network through both your own social media platforms as well as platforms that are syndicated in a third party. So these are things that we're going to be unveiling to you over the next 60 to 90 days. The system already works immaculately, but just know what we're preparing for is a complete tracking system for all your URLs through all these systems, the integration of the social media, of the video-driven social signal web, the integration of traffic with search, and what I'm calling the deadly 6. And I'm going to lay those out for you now to prepare for you for the upcoming course I have coming with Sue Bell and Matt called The One Feed to Rule Them All, which is a paid course but free to members. If you're not a member, you can join our membership area at networkempire.com, and the value, at least at our current price point, the value of those courses are worth the price alone, which is again why we're going to be lifting, obviously you can see why we're lifting the price of this application as we go enterprise. I'm going to lay out these platforms for you to watch right now because they indicate where the web is going. The main ones to watch that we're integrating for you are YouTube, Google+, of course, and Google. We separate those out very specifically. Okay, and it's really important. Quora, which is the actual scraping integration and link building system we're actually integrating to this. Pinterest and Facebook. Okay, those are the deadly 6. And when you integrate those, you're integrating the most powerful form of right brain, left brain social integration systems in the world. In other words, they are mind traps for human consciousness on this planet right now. That's where most people are hanging out. Further, Google Plus wags the dog on all of those because Google, the fascia tissue or the connective tissue between all the systems online right now, that is natural spiderable search engines and social signals with the purchase that Google made today, is Google Plus. They're dumping billions into that process. Okay, so we're incorporating.
Sorry, Russ. There's questions coming through just asking why is Twitter not in the Deadly 6?
Twitter is actually what we consider a signal between them. It's not that Twitter is not a part of them, they actually are. To me, Twitter is so ubiquitous as to be included as almost like a transponder in all of them because it's almost like the login key code. It's almost part of the, Twitter is definitely there, but I'm actually talking about the platforms in which you can host your own content. Twitter I hold as more of a signal, and it would definitely be included with those. That would be 7. But again, I'm really looking at these major, maybe we should just go for 7, whatever, however you want to do it. I mean, Twitter is so ubiquitous at this point because for many of those platforms, you use Twitter to log on. So it has become what Open Social or OpenID was supposed to become. And it's for that reason I've not included Twitter as a platform per se because it's really it's It's really the definition of status update because it's so ubiquitous. And we'll get into that. I separate Google Plus quite a bit more because Google Plus is an operating system. It's not a social media system. It's actually the operating system that's designed to validate every human being on earth as being a verified name. What they want to do is make sure that there's no gaming the system, which is why, and we're not suggesting that you have to create artificial content or artificial identities. What we are suggesting, as Matt showed you earlier in the one feed to rule them all system, and I don't know if he's got that up, okay. The one feed to rule them all system, all of those layers, you need to have where Google's going and the integrative process between those major 6 platforms and the signal that Twitter creates through all of them, which actually is a carrier, if you will, of all the signals. You want to make sure that your Google dashboards are separate. Okay, so when Sue is talking about building out these networks, whether it's your own platform, we actually know people and we have clients that are running their whole business off of platforms they don't even own. They don't even have their own hosting platforms, and Sue and I were talking about this the other day. It's like the one web ring to rule them all, actually, is what I was talking about, Matt. It's okay. Yeah, we don't want to get into
one web ring.
Yeah, the other one. The challenge is that where Google is trying to connect you and your clients to their hip and validate and control all those networks is through your Google Plus account. And your Google Plus account is tied to the Google dashboard. Okay, it's google.com/dashboard. Next time you're logged into a regular account or one of your clients' account, go there, go to your Google Plus account and hit the About page. That About page ties into your Google dashboard tied to that account. Okay, and that as Sue and I look at it, as we start to tie some major one-feed networks together, and I know Brian McFarland, who's also one of our certified agents, is working with some major one-feed stuff now and is incorporating some of this stuff. The main thing to think about when it comes to social platforms, WR1, W2, is separating those Google dashboards, okay? Because Google is the ring when it comes to the integration of all those systems, because they're able to connect free social search and integrated social signals, especially after today's purchase, actually last night's purchase, in ways that no one will ever be able to. Facebook is a different kind of mind trap. It's a social. Facebook was trying to go for the one login, the universal ubiquitous login, and they've kind of achieved that, and they're really visually stimulating. It's really, you'll see more and more pictographs and pictograms be fed through those feeds as people create those things. Well, Pinterest is the free search version of all that. If you flip Facebook, you turn Facebook inside out, it's a visual stimulus. It's the image-based web. So what we're going to be showing you is how to keep all of your Google dashboards separate, how to connect all of your platforms that you own, and drive your own platforms through visual and video imagery. Okay, that's YouTube and Pinterest-style addictive images. I'm having an increase of 60 to 75% click-through in Facebook if I have an image versus when I do not. I mean, don't even bother Twittering or updating status updates if you don't have an image these days. I mean, you're really wasting a lot of your time. So imagine knowing how all those things are connected so that everything is image updating, everything is video updating. You don't have a video, but it's all driving to your own social, from your own social platform, from your own brand, from your own video content, and literally just being able to drop a bomb, what Sue calls the video bomb, through this entire network that we showed you today. Okay, that's what we're building for you guys. But more importantly, our courses teach you, and again, we haven't published the one-feed stuff. We're creating these courses for you now, how to integrate all that stuff so all that connective tissue is holding these web rings together in a way that's intelligent, that doesn't tell Google every single thing about you or your client, every layer of the ring. You just really don't want to do that. You deserve some privacy. At the same time, syndicating all the excellent content that you're creating and your outsourcers are creating through all those networks in a way that's addictive to real social signals, creating actual traffic signals to the sites that you own, increasing the page rank of your videos and your pages, and actually in kind of a way automating the living, breathing network of your personal brand broadcasting and publishing network. It's major, folks, and it requires moving beyond PageRank and even beyond Google and understanding the new social traffic web and how all these major platforms, those deadly 6 that I expressed to you, and of course Twitter, to cap it all off, the cherry on top, if you will, to understand how they're all adjusting themselves, how these major platforms themselves are adjusting in reaction to this new real-time social broadcast and social web. So more on that. We're going to be releasing that course. And again, it's free to members at networkempire.com. The one feed rule them all system is not yet published, but it will be in there at the price. So if you are not a current member, again, I would grab, this is the shameless close. I really need to let you guys know, but it's serious. We were told by our enterprise level users that we need to go ahead and raise our price. And because of the help desk and the response, we're going to go ahead and close our current price in the next few weeks. So just for the training, for the membership area, and what it costs me to put that stuff together, I recommend that you grab at least the Network Empire members area and then start learning the system. As we evolve, you'll evolve with us, because we are a pretty tight-knit community for those of you who've been with us for years. And that's pretty much all I want to say. I'm really super excited because here's my vision for you, okay? I want to actually tell you what my vision for you. And again, don't freak out if you're not the kind of person that can get in front of a video and make amazing videos. I see my old friend Matt Gagnon's on the call here, and he's like the guy who trained me early on in sales and makes videos that convert like crazy. My vision is you create a video and literally just hand it off to a team, or even not handing it out to a team, but just to a single user who knows where all that needs to go, and it distributes through all of your network and is syndicated through your RSS systems to all those locations based on the keywords that Matt laid out, based on all that research, because you built your foundation on rock instead of sand, like most social media networks are just mostly sand. Okay, and then it goes everywhere in the right locations, and you start generating traffic and sales instantly. I mean, you can already do that. Sue and I were messing around with that the other day. You can literally just do an iPhone update, and even if you're not well syndicated or optimized, what we want to do is that over and over and over again for you, so you literally swallow your market whole across every topical theme, every pain in the market, answer the questions with products and services that you've surgically targeted, and as Sue described, you actually provide the solution almost before the market even needs it in real time. And you're already there before people even are aware it's a problem. So that's kind of my vision for you, real-time broadcasting. And if you're not the one making the videos, you can outsource all that. We'll show you how to do that. And if you're not doing videos and you're doing slideshows, it's multimedia, and that's what Matt is talking about when he's talking about multimedia presentation. All of that is part of your SEO-optimized personal brand broadcasting and publishing network that we'll be updating here over the next few weeks. So with that, we want to close. We hope to see many of you on the networkempire.com members area. And I want to, again, thank you and appreciate, express deep gratitude for everybody taking out your time. I know we are getting the art and science of webinars down for something this huge. I'm sure you can imagine that takes a lot of time, but we are going to start breaking these functions, these modules down into individual courses so it's easier to cover. And we appreciate all of your feedback and all of your insight, because these are going to be made into courses. And again, before we close, I don't expect anybody to, obviously, to stay around, but if there are questions, Sue, you can toss those out. I'm happy to stay on for another 10 minutes maybe and answer those follow-up questions. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing the rest of you guys and gals on the inside of the members area.